Nice.
So
I forgot a tray for rolling dice out here because I will lose it.
Might be good.
And then I didn't want to drink out of a can. It
All
looks
right.
more LV.
So everybody roll a d12 and then let me know your numbers.
I got a 6. Yeah, 9.
An 8.
Okay, so this is what's gonna happen. Is it Kyrian?
Yes.
Okay, so Kyrian, you're gonna be at the gates of Bree outside first. And so you're standing outside the gates of Bree. This is what the setup is. And then Adelaide?
Adelaide. Yeah, I think so.
Adelaide, at a certain point, you're going to be walking up.
No, LDA.
Aldia.
LDA.
At a certain point,
And now I'm thinking I should have been Adelaide, but LDA.
Aldia. Aldia. Okay. So at a certain point, you're going to be walking up to the road to the gates of Bree, but you're not quite there yet, just almost, like within moments. And then after they have met and talked for a little bit, Paladin, you're going to be then approaching the gates of Bree. Everybody good?
Okay.
Okay, so it's around January, just so you know. So it's after Yule, holidays are over, it's very cold out. There is snow on the ground. The cold night air bites at your skin. This is for Kyrian. Cold air bites at your skin, and your breath hangs in the air like a ghostly mist. The stars above gleam like distant diamonds against the velvet sky, offering little warmth. Rubbing your hands together for warmth, you rap on the heavy wooden gate once more, but your efforts are met with silence. The watchman, wherever he may be, is either dozing by a toasty fire or wandering about on some unknown errand. As you shift your weight to keep warm, the sound of approaching footsteps reaches your ears. A lone figure emerges from the road, another traveler drawn to Bree's promise of shelter and food. Who could it be?
Okay. So I'm full of cold looking over, and I perk up a little bit, and I think, "Oh, hello, Hallis!" As I approach the stranger.
Good morrow.
Oh, so I get a better view of you, and I say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm mistaken you for a friend of mine, Hallis. Um,
Oh.
he is also of the Elven folk."
Oh, I see. You speak good Elvish. Thank you. I don't know this elf. I come from. Where do I come from? You know, the woods that I've been practicing forever. Lothlorien.
Yeah.
I've come from Lothlorien on a very long journey. It is welcomed your interaction. I've been in the woods and hiking and in nature for a very long time. How did you come by knowing your friend?
Well, Hallis is an old friend of mine. He was, I call him a bit of a mentor, in my youth, and I received a letter from him a while ago, and it seemed he was concerned about something, and the letter hailed from Bree, and it has been a while that I heard back from him, and I thought I should pay him a visit if he might be in Bree or not.
And are you here for adventure?
Yes, adventure is all I've ever known in my life.
Oh, wow! I've been very. This is a life journey for me. I've never experienced true adventure, and I heard that Bree might be the best place to find some for my story in my life. So, what is your last adventure that you came from?
Well, say my adventures are, though not worthy of epic tales and lore, I do a bit of let's call it research or studying of the old ruins and texts that one may find in Eriador.
I find that very admirable. I myself would love to know more, but I've only been able to wield my craft in a more of battle arts because my family are soldiers. Bowmen.
Battle arts are very noble and useful skill to have in these parts of the world. You never know when you might run into the errant goblin or lurking troll.
Yes. Of course, men are strong, but elves might be stronger.
Paladin, you may enter at any point.
All right, so I'm gonna walk up, sort of in awe of the road, the journey. The snow is interesting. I don't see much snow, but so I'm looking up, opening my mouth, and then I see them, and hello, fellow travelers.
Well, hello there.
Hello.
Yes, I've come to meet my cousin Esmeralda at I'm Paladin Took the second. Have you heard of my family? Great farmers, great noblemen.
Well, very well. I have no noble blood of my own, so you're almost a prince. So where do you come from?
The Shire.
Oh, I've heard lovely things about the Shire.
And then it's starting to notice. Are you elf folk?
I am elf. This is a man.
Yes.
And I'm not quite sure. I forgot what you people are called in the Shire.
We are hobbits. And
Oh, you have those hairy feet.
yes, but always nimble and ready to dance.
Oh, that's quite nice. Nicer than I would have thought.
Yeah,
I
my
apologize.
cousin.
I have not left Lothlorien before, so I don't want to be rude from my observations. I do need to keep those in check. I've been alone along the path for a while as well, so thank you for sharing and welcome to. I welcome the conversation from the loneliness of my journey.
Well, it's good to hear. And then I will go into a long-winded tale of how I got there and family history and extended family history.
Very well. Well met, Paladin. I am Kyrian of the Dunedain, and since we are here on similar purpose, also looking for friends that we are in search of.
Awesome.
I'm looking for really good adventures that I can.
At this
take into my life.
little window opens up on the gate. What is all this racket? Watchman, all old and cranky, is smoking a pipe, is staring at you through a little window. What business do you have at Bree?
Yeah, where
Does anything plague you in this town?
Just the winter.
Same here. It's plaguing me as well.
yeah, we're all meeting acquaintances. Would you care to let us in so we could warm ourselves
Fine.
and find?
He opens the gate, And as you walk in, you see that most stuff is shut down because it's later at night and it is winter time. And he informs you, not much is open at night except for the pony. Just follow the road, you can't miss it. So with a grumble, he shuts the gate behind you and allows you to pass into the moonlit streets of Bree. You step onto the well-worn cobblestone streets, the bright white moon casting long shadows along the timbered houses. Few souls wander about in late January chill, preferring the warmth of their homes and the hearths. Up ahead, candlelight spills from a large, lively building. So you're walking down the main road, and essentially it hits a T, but the main road curves, and it's easy to follow, and you see just down the road an inn with a lot of lights coming out of it that's obviously pretty lively. This is unmistakably the Prancing Pony.
I'm quite parched. Do you think that they have some kind of drink in there?
Of a sort of a fermented grain, I'm sure they do. As for the palatability of it, that could be up for question.
Nothing's quite as
Bruce,
good
that's
as
perfectly
my
like
home
warm.
ale. So I've been prepared for disappointment for this long journey.
I should mention, here we go. We got a nice map here. So here's Bree, by the way. So you all met at the west gate here. So there's a west gate and a east gate. And this is the road that you're heading down. And so you can see the ponies basically in this area. There's different maps of Bree, but it's essentially in this vicinity, built up against a hill. And I should have had this up for you. Catching up. And yeah, so you walk down. Prancing Pony is right in this area. Some maps have it over here, some have it over here. I'm having it over here for right now, built into a hill. And so
I'm really cold.
Yeah.
Let's get inside near a fire.
Yes.
So what everyone wants to do?
Yes,
Yeah,
let's
let's do it.
warm up.
Okay. So you enter the Prancing Pony. As you can see here, it is built into a hill, and a little bit of a layout here. I'll zoom this up for you to see. Kind of a nice little actual layout of the Prancing Pony going in. So it's actually split in two, and they have places for stables here. And this is the common room with a couple of rooms and Hobbit-sized rooms. And then there's a hallway that goes down this way to the main inn where people stay. And this is more of a 2-3 story area. Okay, so upon entering, a wave of warmth and rich aromas washes over you. Wood smoke, roasted meat, fresh bread, and unmistakable tang of ale. The common room is bustling, though not packed to capacity. Merchants and peddlers swap tales over half-drained tankards. Laborers share coarse jokes, and a few unsavory folks lurk in the shadows, quietly observing the room. A group of dwarves laugh heartily in the corner, their voices carrying over the din. At a nearby table, men from Lake Town murmur in hushed tones, their conversations lost amid the clatter of mugs and the occasional bark of the innkeeper. As you step further in, the noise dims for a brief moment as all's eyes flicker towards the elf among you. This is a rare sight at the Prancing Pony. Hobbits and men, not so much. And then they all return to their drinks and their revelry, having observed the uncommon event and then getting back to their food. What would you like to do?
I'd like to walk up to the innkeeper and ask if they've seen my cousin Esmeralda Banks.
The innkeeper's busy serving drinks, and as you get his attention, he says, Esmeralda, no, I don't recall that name. Sorry. You also see in the crowd a table of some kind of rough-looking fellows kind of get up to clear the table and leave. So there is now a table open.
I would like to have an ale, please, and I am curious about this town and how one would find an adventure worth telling. To the ale, to the barkeep.
Oh, the barkeep, he's very busy, so you want to find a tale worth telling. The barkeep is, he's serving drinks up, and he says, well, I've got some chores around here that you can be doing. I'm just really busy right now. Maybe you could talk to me in a little bit.
I'll take the ale.
Okay. So you can wait at the bar for an ale, or you do see a waitress running around as well. So do you guys want to be at the bar, or do you want to take the table?
If it's customary.
As Tyrion, I decide to take a seat at the table, and I'm just kind of in an observant mode, kind of trying to catch maybe any little tale, any whisper or something of anything interesting. Kind of reading the room, I guess.
You're very smart.
So your table, as you go to sit down at it, you notice that you're kind of off center from the center of the room, but you're still kind of in the mix of it. And next to you, you notice from the clothing a group of people from Lake Town that are, they're kind of quiet. They're not too rambunctious. They're just minding their own business. And then off to your left and more center to the room, there's a table of the dwarves that are being rowdy and fun. And they seem to be laughing at a dwarf with a very red beard, and he's taking it all in stride. He's laughing at himself and with them as well, and they're having a really good time. And then again, there's just kind of the different workers of Bree and, peddlers and different people about. So as you sit at the table, the waitress comes up, and you cannot tell if she is of the race of men or of hobbits, because she's of shorter stature, but she's very friendly, and comes up to your table with a cheerful and ruddy cheeks, and she's quickly weaving through the tables with skill, and she gets to your table. Hello, I'm Lily, your waitress. We've got Maddie's mutton stew and, well, Maddie's mutton stew, if you fancy. We also have cheese and stone bread and ham. For drinks, we've got Oat Barton pints or the Pony's House Brew.
I'll take the Pony's House Brew, and I might as well try your stew. It does it have meat in it? Is the stew full of meat?
Why wouldn't it?
Maybe I'll just take some bread.
Order of bread. Okay. Anyone else?
Thank you, Lily. House brew and some cheese. That will be all.
Well.
I'm still at the bar, so.
What's up?
I'm still at the bar, so.
Oh, you're still.
Oh, you're still at the bar.
Yeah, still at the bar.
That silly hobbit is all by themselves.
The paladin's
Do
at
they
the bar.
want to talk with us more?
Yeah.
He's more interested in family than adventure.
Would you like to order from Barney the barkeep?
Yeah. Whoever has, I can wave down.
Yeah, if you're at the bar, Barney would be serving you up ales. Food would be at the tables with Lily.
Okay.
And you can kind of squeeze in Pippin style into the bar with some, the guys around there if you want.
Exactly. Some interesting conversation.
Okay. So you're at the bar. You're at the bar, and you're able to squeeze in, and they're pretty happy. There's a peddler to the left of you, and a farmer to your right, and they're exchanging little stories with you. And Barney's able to get you a pint, a full pint, which is pretty exciting. And so, does that work? I'm going to try to juggle two arenas. So at the back. Sorry, go ahead.
Syrian drinking out of a mug, which is glorious.
Oh yeah.
Fitting.
So Lily takes the order from the table, and she does mention as she's about to walk away, if you're looking for a room, we're out of luck on account of the bats. And she starts to walk away.
Alright.
Oh, and she does place down on the table a cup, and in the cup there are 12 dice, and there's a sheet in there for it's called Bree dice, and it's a little dice game that they have. And the way that Bree dice works is, if you decide to play, is that you roll. You can actually play this. It's a game within a game, so you can play Bree dice if you like, and you each get to roll 3 dice, and if you get 3 of the same number, except for ones, that's called the prancing pony, and that's the best hand that you can get. 3 consecutive numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, or it rounds around, so 5, 6, 1. So if you get consecutive numbers, that's called the East Road, and that's your second best hand that you can get. And then you have the Greenway, which is the sum of numbers are even. So 2, 4, 6, 8. So the sum of your numbers are even. That's called the Greenway. And then you have Hobbit's Whistle. The sum of the numbers are odd. And if you roll 3 ones, it's called a tumble down. So,
Okay.
yeah, Kieran and Aldier can play that game, and then we'll go back to Tim, or Paladin, who's drinking your pint, or drinking his pint.
Do you hear that drunk person on my
Fine folks up here.
near me?
What's that? What's that?
Strudel barked a few times, and I said, "Do you hear that drunk person?"
Dogs are on the prancing pony. So as you are having your pint at the thing, you see Lily run back, and you can see kind of into the kitchen a little bit, and there's 2 hobbits actually working back there, and Barlamain is running around a little bit, and he comes to you and says, I saw you come in with those other 2. Are you with them?
Yes, I am. Well, I came to town with them.
Oh, excellent. Yes, because I can see that we're not you're not locals. Like, I know most of the faces in here, some of them are regulars from not around here, but you're definitely not from around here. So are you guys looking for work? Because I have some bats I need cleared out.
Oh,
Yeah, it sounds like a adventure. I don't know about the others, but I would be willing to help you.
I'd be willing to get a room and board if you just want that out.
Yeah,
Possible.
yeah. With
Maybe stay if we clear the bats.
Well, the waitress left. He's talking to Paladin right now.
Oh,
You don't
sorry.
know about this.
So, yeah, I'd like
I have
to.
very big ears. And I could roll for something that has to do with good listening.
Tell me, Aldier, what do your elf ears hear?
Yeah, that's right. And you. Sorry for mumbling.
So
to myself
Barney-
over here.
Barney moves on to some of the other patrons. But you have this information about, that.
I do want to ask barter that for free room and board if we got rid of the bats for him.
Yes, and he says, yes, Hob and Nob, they're too scaredy to go up there and deal with themselves. They normally sleep up there, and they've taken the last guest rooms down here. And they are, you can see the 2 hobbits that are working in the kitchen as he kind of waves to Hob and Nob back there, who are the, basically they would have rooms. They have rooms up in the attic where the bats are at, but they decided to take the guest rooms. So you can take their rooms if you can get rid of the bats. And with that, do you want to stay at the bar?
Yeah, I'll stay at the bar, and I was next to a farmer and a merchant.
Yes. Yeah,
What were
peddler.
or peddler? Okay.
Mm.
What were their names?
Of course. Give me 1 second. One of them is. We've got. Bob Thistledew. And he's stocky and ruddy. He's in his 40s. As you're talking to him a little bit, he's a little gruff. He's just talking about farm stuff and minding a little bit of his own business. But he's charmed. You know, there are hobbits around Bree, but not necessarily hobbits from the Shire. And so he's curious about the Shire, and so he's making conversation about that. So that's Bob. And then the peddler that you have is a little bit more of a transient fellow, and his name is Purdon, and he has spent some time on the road. And he has customers. He's come up from the Greenway, and he has customers in Tharabad and Northern Gondor, and he's talked a little bit about that, which is really exciting. But most of the stuff that he is selling is kind of just like little touristy, trinkety things.
Okay. Yeah, Greenway, Gondor, and what was the other location that you mentioned?
Tharabad, which he does mention, is a bit of a dangerous area. But he gets a lot of his business from Tharabad, and brings up wares, and that's kind of his route that he takes is from Bree, Tharabad. He goes through Edoras and then to Gondor and then back. That's it, sort of his route that he takes. All right, so at the table. Meanwhile, back at the table. Your stomachs are grumbling, and Lily arrives to serve up drinks and a few of your orders. Just as she's serving the food, the door to the inn bursts open, slamming against the wall, and a broad, smiling dwarf with a beard neatly braided and his clothing a mix of finery and patchwork strides in. Barney, a beer of your pony and put it on my tab. Without hesitation, he scans the room, his gaze lingering on your table and the Lake Town traders. Strangely, he passes his kin, as he is a dwarf, so he passes that table without so much as a nod, a peculiar thing among dwarves. Aren't you a fine, hearty bunch, he says as he looks at you. I'm Jerry, and today is your lucky day. Any brave souls here looking to earn their fair share of a great treasure? Grand. Yeah, it's a very grand entrance that he makes, and he does scan the room and then immediately zero in, because you have an elf and everybody. So this is Jerry, by the way. And actually, do you want to inform what has just occurred, Kieran, since you're at the table?
I see the dwarf.
Yes.
He's quite amazing.
Large dwarf, well-dressed dwarf who's entered.
It's an attempt at well-dressed. Let's just say that. It's an attempt. He's reaching beyond his means a little bit with his patchwork.
He is quite weird, but his metalwork is very good.
He says, "Aren't you a fine, hearty bunch?" I'm Jerry. He comes right to your table. "Aren't you and kind of looks at the Lake Town folks as well. "I'm Jerry, and today is your lucky day. Any brave souls here looking to earn a fair share of a great treasure?"
He said he's,
Yes.
What do you call us? A fine-hearted bunch.
Fine-hearted bunch.
Fine, hearty bunch.
Fine-hearted bunch. Not as hardy as you, it may seem. I was not opposed to earning some coin while discovering something new. Tell us more about this uh, golden opportunity.
Oh, great. Yes, yes. I'll tell you all about it. One of my great uncles, Bori, hid away a fortune long ago to keep it from bandits before he passed. He trusted the secret to me and no one else, his favorite nephew. It lies a bit north of Bree, and well, I'm no warrior, but you look like the sort could handle a bit of trouble. He gives a wink over to the Lake Town folks and gives them a little point, too, to include them in the conversation. My, that's a nice cloak that you have, he says to you, Aldier. Very, very foreign.
Yes, I am very foreign. I've traveled very, very, very far from my home. Have you?
Yes, I have come from the Blue Mountains, and my uncle was from the Gray Mountains, and so who knows what kind of treasure he has. I'm sure it's wonderful. I can't wait to get it, and I am happy to share with anybody who will help me.
What are, yes, what perils are you expecting from us?
He looks over to the Lake Towners when you ask that question, and he says, "What about you? Would you like to come on this journey with me?" And the Lake Towners talk a little bit, murmurs among themselves, and they respond, "We've been warned not to stray from the road. It's too risky." And he's looking around the room, avoiding your question. And he says, and as he looks across the room, the dwarves in the corner are no longer jovial, and they just kind of glare at Jerry and say nothing. And then he turns back to your table and he says, So what will it be?
So is he with that group of dwarves?
No.
I'm a little bit cautious now that I've looked farther at this picture. this picture, the other dwarves seem a little bit more well kept, and I'm more interested in something like, it seems a little like less than honorable for some reason. I'm getting the sense, and so I'm not going to say that out loud. That's what I'm thinking. And sorry, I did write down your names. Is it, hold on. So what do we think? How do you think this? Sorry, are you doing something honorable for your dwarven kind?
Of course. Why wouldn't I be?
And none of your dwarves want to help you in this quest?
And he leans and he's like, "Listen, this is a thing that needs to happen now. So would you like to do this or not? This is a lot of treasure."
Unfortunately, I have to keep my pledges to my kind, and I don't want to be unwelcomed to a new realm.
He looks over to you, Carrion.
I kind of look at him, smile at him, and say, "Oh, my good dwarf, have a seat. Let us discuss more in detail about this treasure that you cannot wait to discover."
So he slaps his hand on the table and gives a loud laugh, and he turns and scans the room and heads towards the bar. Where he sits next to none other than Paladin Took. And
yes.
the farmer kind of moves out of the way, doesn't really want anything to do with the dwarf. So he's now sitting next to you, and he's looking around. He's not really saying much, but you kind of heard the bit, and he's having his drink that Barney has given him.
So I'll light my pipe and yeah, good day to you, sir.
Hello. He's very grumpy at this point.
Yeah, that was a very loud and boisterous entrance. What were you talking about with the elf over there? That's the first elf. That's the first elf I've seen. So I was really curious. And
Well, yes, I have a great treasure that I'm and he's kind of just grumbling through it at this point. He's less selling because he's obviously not looking at Hobbit as a great adventurer because he doesn't know about Bilbo, and and he says, "Yeah, I've got this treasure, and I just need to find some adventurers here, and it's hard, It's like it's very, very hard to find people that you can trust."
oh yes, I can understand that. But but yeah, I may be interested myself, but I'm already going to be helping the innkeep with a request.
Excellent. Okay, so he's gonna have his drink, and he's stewing a little bit, right? And he's still looking around the room, very, very kind of looking at the front door, looking around, and you can tell he's in some kind of thought at this point. Lily, however, has come to clean a few plates up, and asks Kyrian and Aldier if they would be staying at the inn tonight.
You said that you had a bat issue.
Well, yes, we do have a bat issue, and that would be part of staying at the inn. Hob and Nobber have rooms up in the attic, but bats showed up out of nowhere, and it's kind of uncommon, especially this time of year. And we just need somebody to clear them out, and if you can, because they're taking over guest rooms. So
I can help you.
if you clear them out, then you can stay in that room.
I spend a lot of time in trees. I could help you with this issue. I have learned how to help the bats understand that we don't want them here.
I've slept in many a bat cave myself. Not bothered by them at all.
Excellent. So she's like, great, I will let Barney know, and she's heading back, and you still have some ales. And the dwarves...
Can I pause Lily
Yep.
before she leaves with the...
Yes, absolutely.
Say, excuse me, what do you know of this dwarf that just entered here? Is this a regular occurrence?
Oh, Jerry? Jerry has always got a plan and a scheme, and we see him about maybe once every month or so, and he usually is going off on some adventure with different people from here. Yeah, so that's all I really know. He just kind of comes and goes about every month or so and collects adventurers.
Do these adventurers ever return?
Not that I'm aware of.
Thank you.
So...
So funny. You didn't understand his character.
So the dwarves at the table now.
So smart of a man. How little did that dwarf have that you think you can get from him? Something that we don't already have.
So the dwarves at the table are.
I think we can help each other.
The dwarves at the table are now having fun and getting rowdy again with the guy with the red beard, and you hear words of Moria, and you hear because you're not eavesdropping, but definitely when
I got no eaves here, sir.
Yeah.
Sir.
Dropping no eaves. Yeah, you definitely can hear, as you're kind of been playing your dice game and stuff, you've heard them drop the word Moria and him talking about a trade route he's trying to build and Balin. And they're very excited about Balin because Balin's plans are to go and overtake Moria again. But they think it's foolhardy and they don't, you're just picking up little pieces here and there, but you're kind of picking up that that's what the dwarves are all drinking and having fun and kind of teasing this dwarf about a little bit that's got this fiery red beard, more so than other dwarves. And at that, how's everybody feeling? You guys ready to clear some bats out, or do you want to explore the room some more? Talk to Jerry some more?
No, my ale's done. My ale's done. I'm gonna rush over, pipe smoke trailing behind me, to the table, and let them know about the conversation I had with Barney, and because I don't know that they were already told this, or that elves have great hearing. I'm gonna let them know about this job where we'll get free room and board if we help clear out the bats in the attic.
Well, it seems
Cousin
luck is in our favor.
Distrustful of strangers like a hobbit would be.
Yeah, but just weaving through the
Really
crowd.
impressed with my. No, thank you. I don't need pencils here. Okay, sorry. Well, hello, Paladin.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Why, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, the innkeeper just very workaholic, but an innkeeper said, Barney is his name, said that we can gain free room and board if we help clear out the attic of these bats, this bat infestation.
I
Oh,
do
what?
know a few songs from my town that might help. I would prefer to sing them out of the house, the inn, than hurt them.
Seems
Yeah.
good fortune has fallen on us. The barmaid has also told us of such arrangement as well. We would be more than glad to help you. Many hands could make quick work of this.
Ah, yes, they could. Cooperation is key here.
So Lily shows up and she says, "Oh, this is a great serendipitous moment because Barney was just telling me that this hobbit here would be clearing out the bats, and you've agreed to clear out the bats. So this must be a sign." And she says, "So," and she has a couple of candles that she puts down for light. And she says, "Okay, so what you're going to do is you go down this hall, which is going to be this hall right here. So you guys are all in this main room here. You're going to go down this hall into here, and there's going to be a door down at the end of this hall, and you're going to walk up the door about 3 flights, and at the top is where the attic is, and in the attic that's where Barney and Hob and Nob actually sleep. And so once you've got the bats gone, come back down and let me or Barney know." And she reaches in her apron, she pulls out 4 candles or 3 candles and puts them on the table. She gives a quick wink, heads back to the bustling inn. So at this point, you're going to walk down the hallway, and we'll kind of move you through that if that's okay. So everybody ready? So you walk down the hallway, you see a few doors on either side, which are obviously going into people's rooms. The Prancing Pony, they're all closed for the night. People are probably sleeping or they're about ready to go in there. At the far end, a door stands ajar leading to the stairs that wind up to the attic. You can hear distant sounds of laughter as you're moving in, and a bit of music that begins, a mandolin, probably from someone picking it up, maybe a bard, maybe a drunk. The noise seems to grow faint as you approach the attic. And so you're able to you're able to light the candles from some of the sconces and the torches. So you have these. The air grows cooler as you make your way higher, and the sound of the inn's merrymaking fades, replaced by soft, distant echoes of the night. At the top of the stairs, the attic door stands slightly ajar. Pushing it open, the cool breeze that flows past you brings with it the faint rustle of wings. Inside the attic, you notice immediately a large window at the far end of it of the room with the bright moon lighting the center of the room. The room feels cozy, though cluttered with old furniture.
All right, I'm gonna use the candle and take out my windproof lantern and use the candle to light my lantern, so we have more light.
Excellent. So yes, you are able to light that, and it gives you a little bit more field of reference. You can see that there are several beds now, rather than just the shadows of them, and you can see nice warm colors like red and green, and giving you comforts of hobbits, you know, hobnob hobbits, and so it feels very hobbity in there, even though it's not in a hole. And each of them have thick, warm blankets that take up the corners. Cobwebs, you can see a few cobwebs hanging like delicate lace from the rafters. And the floorboards are again, kind of creaking with old world charm. What would you like to do?
I wanted to try to. I'm not the best singer, but I wouldn't mind trying to persuade them to leave before we start. Maybe like opening up the windows and trying, maybe with the broom, to like swish them out a little bit. If we can get the right amount of gusts, maybe they won't. You know, like, I mean, inevitably, I'm actually not afraid of killing a bat. I want to make sure that my company knows that if we have to get the more ferocious bats, then fine. But I would like to do it nicely first before we take great action for no reason.
Yes.
I agree. I agree, LDA. These are. I am pretty sure these are not the giant man-eating bats that you maybe found in Mirkwood.
Wait, there's giant man-eating bats? I haven't seen those before.
Well,
I haven't even read
we
it.
might need to shield you from those. They would love a little snack, just your size.
Oh, okay. So they're not friendly.
These ones are fine, but the ones that we might meet in the future, maybe we should buy you an umbrella at a shop to protect you.
Perhaps. But yes, songs have a great way of doing magical things. Are elven songs magical, or is it just normal singing?
This, well, honestly, that's not the art that I learned. I learned more of those, but it is magical when I see the singers that I know sing. So I guess I
Wow.
want to see how magical I am by myself. And this could be a sore disappointment in my own elven passions. When I get back, I'll start an elvish band, but right now I have some songs to create of my own.
You won't have to
Okay.
do a dice roll for this.
No dice roll.
No,
Well
I'll-
then,
I'll
yes,
let
I
I'll-
will.
I will let you know when you have to roll dice.
So,
But everybody
Um,
agrees that we're gonna do a song.
Well, I
yeah.
decide. I think.
any help? I'll have the hobbits help. Maybe the hobbit could teach us a song from their time, their place.
Well, I don't know any songs that would make bats flee.
And Kyrian, do you have any scholarly knowledge, and I could help sing it?
The singing goes on. I wish I was more of a bard myself, but alas, I was not born with such skills. I do have good skills of awareness, and I think I will be opening up perhaps an exit point for these bats and patching up any points of entry so that they don't come back into this attic.
Seems wise.
Going on.
Honestly, I think that we all could work on that first, and then some of the bats the baby bats, the baby bats will listen to my song.
I feel a plan now forming.
I might be a
Yes.
little tipsy. I haven't drank for months.
So now we hear, if I've got this right, as the plan forms, we're going to find an exit for the bats and maybe patch maybe do some patchwork so
Yeah.
they don't come back in,
Mhm.
and
Yes.
then doing a song. And this may require dice at this point from the singer because now the bats have somewhere to go.
Ah.
So,
Well,
yeah.
I can sing a little to see how it works, and then try again if I get another drink from downstairs.
Yeah. I think
Oh,
I will
dark is not satisfying. Oh, dark of this room is not like the outside. You may have it outside. Because that's elf noises and elf words. Something along the lines of, you don't want to be here, my friend. Leave now.
So let's go. That was beautiful. So the bats kind of ruffle around a little bit, but don't do anything because they still don't have an exit. But if we've got the plan
So
right,
they're working.
they're working. It's feeling it. They're feeling it. They're liking what you're saying. So would you like to do a scan to sort of? Yeah, I think that sounds good to see. Okay, can you open the window? Can you find a way to patch things up? I think a scan might work.
Yeah.
Let's do
I'll look for holes that the bats might have gone through.
Okay, awesome. So who would like to go first with? Oh, so Paladin's gonna scan. I got it. Okay.
Oh, nice. Starting off right with a 12.
Yeah.
Wow. So your lantern is great, right? And what you see is actually, first thing you see is on the walls, there's portraits of past innkeepers and notable guests hanging a little crookedly. One portrait in particular catches your attention. It's a man attempting to tame a group of horses. Though the scene looks more like an unsuccessful struggle, appears to be the location of the inn, but from a long time ago. And because you rolled a 12, we'll pass the lore check, and I'll actually tell you a little story about the prancing pony. It used to be, so Barney is Barlamane's father, and Barlamane, who you know from the movies, has not actually been born yet. And the prancing pony used to be, it was Barney's great grandfather who wanted to break horses, and he was right on the corner of that map where he had a place to break horses, but he was pretty bad at it, and but he as a hobby he liked to make beer, and so he had his pony beer that he would make, and people would his friends would drink those beers and everything, and he would go out and he'd break the horses and they'd all hang out, but he was really not good at it. And he thought, oh, I'm at the crossroads of the Greenway and the East Road. This is a great place for me to really do this business, to tame horses and to have that kind of business. But instead, what would happen is people would gather around the fence and just watch him laughing, not making fun of him, but just enjoying a hot summer day. And he was fine with it too. He had good humor because they were all buying his beers. And they called him the man of the prancing pony. And that is how the prancing pony began to turn into what it is known today. And he decided to build an inn and stop. And he liked horses, so he has stables for people to have the horses, but he stopped trying to tame them.
Oh.
So you're seeing this picture, and because you rolled such a great 12, you actually kind of were able to piece together that this was probably the founder of the prancing pony.
Honestly, the taste is horrendous. The way that this feels in this ale, I've never felt before as an elf.
So you see different things like you're not finding any holes necessarily that the bats may have gotten into, but you do notice a wood stove. As you're kind of scanning around, and hobbits do like warmth, and you do see some torches. Which are probably like sconce torches, but they're just sitting on top of a dresser. And as you're moving around, Paladin, you do spot the bats because you're moving around and you see like a big cluster of them, and they're up in a corner, um, kind of far away from the moonlight. So if your door entrance is here, then the window would be pretty far. I'm not doing this very good on the camera. Pretty far over here, right? And the bats are pretty much up in the corner by the door. So when you're scanning the thing around, you actually can see them up there. And with your scan, because you are kind of scanning the whole room with your wonderful Gandalf 12, you do see the moon is just full. It is just white and bright, and you're able to see like a little latch by the window.
Everything just froze.
Lost you for a little bit.
Yeah, something latched window.
Yep, that was it. Yeah, you see a latch by the window, and then that's what you see. That's what you get with your Gandalf scan. Quite a bit.
All right, so I'm gonna talk in a soft voice to the others to let them know what I see.
Okay. I see what you see. Please open that latch. Do you
Not
want
too
to?
boisterous. No, just I want to let you know where the bats are, and I see they no holes per se, but they may be coming through like the chimney, or there may be a nest of them.
So we have an awareness of what's happening in the room. We
That's all I want to do.
still have a latched window, and we have bats where everybody knows where they're at now.
Who are we speaking to? All of us? Or him? Because who did the scan?
I did. Paladin did. So I'm just letting.
It's all in your hands, little fellow. It's all in your hands.
Well, it appears we have our exit, so Kieran decides to move towards the latched window and open it up.
Okay, so as you open the window, a gust of wind rushes in, and the bats immediately begin to stir. They flutter around you in a chaotic swirl, their tiny bodies brushing against you as though inspecting your presence. Their wings beat rapidly, and some of them do pause and almost appear to make eye contact with you.
Now might be a good time for that lullaby.
Little bats go away.
So
you're not here to stay. Oh la la, wouldn't you prefer a nice, lovely dark tree comparatively to the bedroom that is not for you? This inn might be great, but you might be late to a bat party of your own. La-di-da-di-da-di-da.
wonderful song, and could you please roll a courtesy roll?
Courtesy.
You mean I can't pick my
All
highest
right.
skill level and just roll for that every time?
Well, both of them were about the same.
Joke's on me.
Which is 3.
And you don't forget, you also have your 12-sided dice that you get to roll every
I
time.
don't. Oh, every time?
Every time.
Favorite equals 2?
2 and then the highest one. Yeah.
I want to cheat. But it's an 8, and I still didn't do very well this
Okay.
time.
So, your song, your courtesy song did not do great then, right? What was the number you were trying to hit?
15, I think, in courtesy.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to spend some hope and roll another dice?
Is it 6-sided dice that gets rolled?
Yeah, you roll another one, then you get to add it, but you have to
Yeah.
hope.
Yeah. I don't want to. That was quite embarrassing, and I hope that it works. Like,
Okay.
these are my new friends. Oh my god, it's a 1.
Oh no.
So
This
there
works
is
every time.
there is a concept in this
Trying to be
game.
charming when you're not.
There is a concept in this game that usually works with pairing a little bit, but it's called support. And if somebody wants to give Adelaide hope, one of their hope, they can. It's called a support. Now we'll get a little bit
I will
more
buy
technical
an
with
ale.
that if anybody wants to, but you don't have to. There's other things that we can do.
I think I'm just a drunk elf. Daddy, daddy, da, da, da. Leave. Get out of this place. I've never been so tipsy in my life. Da, 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 da.
Okay, so if we have no support, then that's okay. Nothing.
Nobody supported me. I offered you guys some of this delicious Prancing Pony
That
ale.
support was.
What
there
friends
a-
are you?
What's up?
Wasn't there a way to support with a roll?
No, the way that you support is you would roll the dice. You would spend your own hope, and then whatever you roll adds to hers. And that's only once per fight or combat or check. And it's typically when people are paired together, but we'll deal with that in another adventure. But I'm introducing a concept that's actually.
Yeah, I'll spend a hope.
Okay.
Okay.
Who rolls for that hope? Him.
Whoever's the one that's supporting you. It's kind of like giving you a boost. They're going to see how good they're at boosting you.
Okay, so you just roll normal. So am I rolling
A normal 6-sided dice. Yep.
or just normal 6-sided dice?
Yep.
Okay.
And that will add 8.
5.
Yes.
Okay.
8 and 5. Yes.
So with that song, and then Paladin, being the hobbit that he is, and seeing you struggling with a couple notes, jumps in and starts giving you some backup vocals, right? And
Yes.
helping a little bit with the singing. And you see it's working. Some of the bats actually start to go out the window, but not all of them. So you got about maybe almost a third of them out the window. So would anybody else like to attempt anything with the remaining bats? They're still quite active. They're swirling around the room and looking at you.
I'm ready. Sorry, I'm ready to start swinging. Wait,
Well, we're going to go to a different. We're going to go to actually probably Kierden at this point, because we had somebody
Sorry.
go and then we had somebody that actually supported you. So Kierden, would you like to do anything?
So I scan the room. Are there any tools or well, I guess it's a bed, so there might be some sheets.
There were some torches that were on a dresser that are kind of like sconce torches for lighting.
Okay. Maybe I decide to grab a couple of these torches and see if I can't lure them towards the window by waving some light and fire around, starting at the end of the attic.
Excellent. So you're able to light the torches just fine, and then to start swishing them out, I'm going to have you roll a persuade.
You're not going to use my highest skill?
You are trying to persuade them to leave.
There's only one way this is going to turn out. 1.
And your 12-sided dice? Anything?
Well, I don't have it. It is Persuade is completely blank, so I can only
You,
have
you always
one
you always get a 12-sided dice when it's
that was it.
so you're 12.
Oh.
Oh, so everything is blank. You only have a 20.
I am not the
Wow.
most persuasive ranger.
So
Wow.
as you actually go to try to squish them, you actually singe your eyebrows a little bit, and you get like
Ah!
sparks in your eye, and you're like a little blinded for a second. Like you totally obviously rolled a 1. You just got little embers around you, and you're smoke, and you're just kind of trying to deal with that. So bats are still kind of moving around a little bit. They're starting to get a little agitated, though. So, you know, things they might not be so friendly in a second. And I think, Paladin, since you gave support, you haven't really had a full turn. So what would you like to do? I'm assuming nobody wants to spend a hope on a 1. Does anybody want to support that?
Very supported. So.
What was it
Yeah.
on? It was on a persuasion.
Yeah, for with the torches.
I would.
Obviously, from the beginning of this game, I've shown you how cordial I am. So good. Mhm.
So would it be possible for me to sort of? Is there enough empty floor space up there to sort of slide the my lantern in the middle of the room, and then pick up one of the heavy blankets and whirl it around to try and force them out the window?
Danger, yeah, absolutely. I'm loving that.
All right.
Don't roll a 1. So with yours, I'm gonna say with yours that probably actually is gonna fall under. That seems like persuade as well. So yeah, go ahead and go for a persuade on that one.
I was actually thinking dexterity. It's interesting. Persuading them with a pillow and a lantern. Let's do it.
The dexterity wouldn't. I don't think that would be in here. I mean, the only other thing I could think of is probably. Yeah, it's.
So.
Yeah, it's a persuade. Yeah, you're trying to
Okay.
persuade them.
Gotcha.
Courtesy is being polite, right? And persuade is going, I think you should really go that way. I really do. You need to get going, right?
Yeah. All right. So, and just one roll. You just want one roll?
Yeah, you would roll. You get your 12-sided dice, and then whatever pips that you have.
Yeah. So, but I was sliding the lantern and then picking up the heavy blanket and swinging.
Oh,
it
yeah, I see what you're saying. You're very successful at getting the lantern put there, and now you have the blanket and you're doing this. It's whether or not it's an effect on the actual creatures if they are taking what you're laying down. You're immediately successful at doing those things. Now, what does it do?
Oh, nice. Got a 6 on my 6-sided. So that's a reroll, right? Or does that explode? Or is that...
The 6 on a skill check. For one note that I don't think I have.
I think it's level of success if you successfully.
Right. You can actually you can spend that point to add an additional point to your 12-sided dice.
If you hit your target number.
Yeah.
So I surpassed my target number. So my target number is 16, and I have a 23.
Yay.
Awesome. So
one of those is a 6. So
you are very successful. So with that 6 as well, and being so successful, please tell us how you got all of the bats out of the room with this technique that you used.
Well, I was like, at least I've read, bats don't like light. So I was observing this. So then I thought of a stampede trick I used to do on the farm with stubborn animals. So I would take a big heavy, like a rope, or a big heavy rope or a thing, and just whoosh it behind them to make a loud cracking sound, and that would divert them into the pins. So I was trying to make the bats, with this big heavy blanket, wave it up and down to make not only a draft, but a snapping sound to stampede them out the window, herd them out the window.
Nice. And as he's telling you this story, something is happening in the room. It's getting darker. And that bright moon, there's now a hue of redness. And as you all look out the window, something strange is occurring. The moon is turning to a blood red. And next to it, you notice a star that is also turned blood red. And you've noticed that the singing and any of the noises of the prancing pony are gone. And so you do descend down the stairs to the inn. The mood has completely shifted. People have gathered outside the door. They're gazing up at the strange sky with confused and worried expressions. All of the talking is subdued. You notice a few stragglers filtering back into the inn as it's a few moments of just looking up at this, and everybody kind of out in the streets. People are kind of moving back in, but a lot of people are still staring up at this. And at this point, you're kind of outside with them, looking up at this blood red moon and this one blood red star.
Quite strange.
This feels like it could be an ill omen. I wonder if Hallis knows anything about this or had a feeling about it.
Can I guess, is, like, I'm quite, I'm intrigued by this. I want to go outside or go up higher to see it, or so none of you have seen anything like this before in this area?
One of the patrons says, "No, I haven't seen anything like this. Never seen this before." Eldrin, he may know something, but he tends to be asleep at this hour. He's our historian in town. But this is damn odd. So they glance nervously at each other and at the sky, and people are still kind of murmuring and talking about it. What would you like to do?
Well, it's like up in the sky. What are we supposed to do with it? It's like far from us. Is it like guiding us, guiding somewhere? Does it look like it's going someplace, like a comet would?
No.
I mean, we need to know how long it lasts. So I think we're kind of on watch, like everyone else is.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask whoever have bats coming to town brought anything like this before?
So the bats is also a damn odd thing. We normally don't get bats this time of year, and even in the summer they don't tend to bother us much. But yeah, we've had a few bat problems the last couple of weeks.
Do you have any odd guests?
Patron, the person outside that's I'm just a farmhand out on the Heathrow's Heathertoes farm. Sorry, I've had a little bit much to drink. But I don't know about the comings and goings of Bree. You might want to talk to, someone else. I just kind of work this is amazing though. I mean, this is crazy. This can't be good.
Where were the other bats sighted? I'll ask him.
Oh, just just here and there, people's homes, just fluttering around. You can kind of look up in the sky and see them, and yeah, it's just weird to see bats. It's usually a summertime thing, and usually not around here, more around the hills. I mean, we have a hill here, but it's like further out by Combe or by Archet. And as you're talking for a while, you're out there talking for a little bit. The moon starts to, because you've been out there for probably half hour or so, looking at this thing and talking to different people. Maybe an hour passed, and you notice that it starts to move back into a dull white, and the star is now no longer noticeably blood red anymore. It's just can't even really pick it out anymore. You remember it was somewhere in the vicinity next to the moon. The moon is now back to just not as bright as it was, but it's still kind of a hazy, whitish, cream colored moon.
This makes me very nervous indeed. I would like to talk to Eldrin about this. Perhaps conversation best left for when the day is brighter and the sun is out.
Yes, I agree. It has been a long day.
And we got all the bats out.
Okay, so as you go back into the bar, everybody's much more somber. There's less people in there now. You inform Barney that you're able to get rid of the bats. He's very, very grateful, and he lets you know that food that you got earlier is on the house, and so is breakfast, and there'll be porridge and tea and cakes out in the morning, and that you're welcome to stay up in the room. So would you like to go back into the common room, or would you like to call it a night?
I think Tyrion is feeling a bit unsettled about the whole ordeal with the strangeness in the sky, and is feeling that feelings with about shadow and odd omens are best left for daytime conversation.
Possibly. I'm very eager to find out what this means, and I'm kind of excited that I chose to leave now, from if I'm going to be able to investigate the awakening of shadow, but I'm also very much unsure where to go, because it was so far and so ominous that there's no trail to be had quite yet, and no one's speaking.
Yeah.
So with some time, go ahead.
I want to go ask some of the patrons if they'd experienced this before, if they've seen any locations of other bats that have been gathering oddly.
I could try a little longer with you and then head to bed. But is there anyone else to speak to?
There's Jerry's gone. A lot of the farmers are gone. There's the Prancing Pony, the main common room. They don't clear people out. There's no last call kind of a thing. People sometimes are allowed to sleep in the common room, and so it's winded down to kind of that level. The dwarves, with the one with the red beard, there's a couple of them lingering a little bit, but their hardiness and their laughter, they're more somber and quiet. The bar is not quite as full. I would say it's emptied out quite a bit from that, because most people are a little bit spooked by it. So you can definitely go in and chat with some patrons if you like, or yeah.
Yeah, I would like to.
So going into the common room, again, you've got, I think the overall feel, talking to any of the individual ones, some don't really know much of anything. They just think it's odd, right? Some of them didn't go outside, they're drunk. don't even know what was happening. And a few of the locals that are at the bar talking with Barney a little bit, all of them agree that Eldrin would be the person to talk to, that he might know something about it.
Okay.
That's the information, just to kind of shortcut it down, but that's what you would gather from that, is that there's a you do notice one thing though. Oh, and I apologize, got this wonderful little image here. You do notice one thing, and that is that there is a bulletin board that you didn't notice before, because you go back and it's not so busy. And on here,
this is what we needed.
yeah, well, this is, yeah, there's many things. So you can take a look at this. Everything is just off center a little bit, so I apologize. I had it all nice and ready.
Oh, is that who we were just talking to? Is the farm help, Bob?
Yep. So there's farm help needed. Contact Bob Thistledew. I like that consistency, Paladin. And then there's a lost journal. You can talk to Effie. This is all very, everybody knows everybody here. Help with bandits stealing crops. Contact Will Thistledew.
I think I'm interested in that
Then you have-
clearing of the dwarf's trade route, now that it's more legitimate.
Farron Longbeard is seeking, so this is not Jerry, this is Farron Longbeard is seeking help clearing out obstructions for his trade route along the East Road. Warning, best suited for experienced rogues.
That's what I was looking for, is something legitimate, like proper. I don't want to make waves quite yet. I'm more interested in making friends.
So you guys are kind of gathered at that. This is kind of up by the entrance. Is anybody else interested in that?
Yeah.
Could you, we'll go through until somebody has a success. We need a... I'm gonna say it's between a riddle and a... Actually, it's an insight. Let's just go through the lineup here. So, Adelaide, Aldelaide, could you do an insight roll, please?
And I needed a 15. So I will spend one more hope today. Wait, does my hope redo every turn? Or
No,
is
every adventure you'll slowly but you also have other people that can roll for this too right now. We're going to go through everybody on an insight.
I didn't do very well. I don't have any insight on this. The moon has struck me.
And that's something that will help me if you let me know what your target number is and then what you actually got. That helps me gauge a little bit. So what was your target number?
15.
And then what did you roll?
10.
Okay, so yeah, it seems there's something about it that seems familiar, but you're not really sure what. So who else would like to try the insight roll?
Yeah, I'll try it. All right, so add 10. So I got 20, and my target number is 13, and I rolled a 6 on my d6.
Excellent. So because of maybe where you were sitting at the bar, and how you were able to, because you're a little bit closer to the dwarves table, right? You're able to pick up on those dwarves kind of all ribbing each other and having good laughs, and definitely ribbing the very fiery red bearded dwarf, that his name was Farron, and you're able to put that together with this on the bulletin board, that Farron was the red-headed dwarf and the red bearded dwarf that was trying to create this trade route from Moria, and that something to do with Balin clearing out Moria, and that he wants to make this trade route. So with that, you have that note, and it is probably things are closing up. So as we'll say we pack up for bed. Everybody's heading up to the attic.
Did we miss them?
Oh yeah,
they're
they're gone. But maybe in the morning there'll be some activity or something, or you can find him. You know what he looks like, right?
Okay. All right, bedtime.
All right, so
Good morrow.
you guys head upstairs. You have a good rest. If you, I don't think anybody lost any. We didn't have any interference or any problems, so everybody's fine. As you wake up in the morning, you head downstairs and you enter the fairly vacant main common room. There's a large pot of help yourself porridge, several loaves of sliced bread, and pots of tea to help yourself with, and a few cakes. The main room is empty, save for an elderly man in the corner with fuzzy white hair, little stain on his beard. His frail yet sturdy frame contrasts with the sharp gleam of intellect in his eyes. Sunlight spills over his table, illuminating piles of books and scrolls. Among them, a large glass magnifier rests like a tool of great importance. There are a few folks sleeping on benches, and a passed-out dwarf in a booth, no red hair, near the front door as the party sits to enjoy breakfast. The man stands with purpose from the corner, the older man, and gestures for you to join him at a larger table, empty table, in the center of the room, inviting you to bring your food and drink with you.
And I do so.
Let's do it.
Excellent. So, good morning. I trust you all found your way to Bree well enough. Being from Bree myself, I know you must be travelers of one kind or another. No doubt by the look of you, at least one, if not all of you, may be for hire. He gestures for you to sit. He does not sit himself, but stands with an air of certainty, hands clasping a large book around an old, bound in old leather, his voice unwavering. I am Eldrin, a historian of Bree. I have a proposition for you, though I doubt I'll need to do much convincing. I've spent much of my life collecting fragments of the past, pieces of stories that no one else seems to care about. But you adventurers seem like those who will seek out what others overlook. He gestures towards the stack of books and scrolls nearby, papers clearly worn from years of study. I heard of the moon last night, and perhaps there may be some tellings in the old manuscripts to give clues to what it means. I recently stumbled upon a book, one that has eluded me for quite some time. Anominus, capital of Arnor, is the name of the book. But there is a problem. He pauses, his gaze sharpening, looking at you. The manuscript, or what remains of it, has entire sections missing. The entire chapter of the Lake Evandom is completely gone, save for the title. And without those pages, the history of Arnor is incomplete. It is likely no tale of red moons in there that would be told in the chapter. However, he lets the weight of his words settle in, then continues with more earnestness. If you look here, you will see the mark of the tower of Echorilithil, which means echo of the realm. He turns the book to show a mark on the back. There is a tower on a hill. This is a small tower. Now it is only known as Barad Minuel, the Tower of the Last Dawn. There must be another copy of this book, or perhaps copies of this manuscript within that tower. It was once filled with scribes dedicated to preserving knowledge. How I wish I could see such a marvel, but it's likely in ruin now. He steps a little closer, his voice dropping in intensity. Beyond my missing text, there may be more you will find there to help in finding out what this omen is about. If you're willing to take on this task, I can offer you my full assistance. You'll have access to my extensive collection of texts and my understanding of the past should you ever need it. He looks each of you in the eyes, his conviction evident. I've no doubt that you are more than capable of this task.
A smile kind of starts to crack on the right side of Tyrion's mouth as he says to him, "You really know how to twist a person's arm, don't you?"
I am intrigued and wondering what else there is to do to keep this man talking.
I just like loudly and abruptly, I'm just gonna exclaim like, "That sounds great. Let's go."
Excellent. Well, I'm very happy, and please be careful on this journey. I wouldn't want anything to happen to such fine folk who appreciate history so much. What I would suggest is through the West Gate. You may be tempted to head north up the Greenway, up through Fornost, and then over to Animinus. But you'll be wise to take the east road to Whitfurrows in the Shire. It's a much more pleasant journey. You'll find a stone monument that marks, you'll find a stone monument for the 3 farthings, and there's inns around there that you can stay at. Past the Whitfurrows is Frogmorton. Then just past that, you head north to Oatbark, where you can get good ale. We get it here at the Prancing Pony. And you'll be on the Northway Road. You can follow that and continue that up to Kingsworthy, where there's some ruins of, I think there was a Boloror Took had his fight with the goblins up there, if I remember. My recollection of the Shire history is a little patchy, but I believe that happened up in the Kingsworthy area where he knocked the goblin's head off.
Why, yes, it did.
Excellent, thank you. Yes, and I'd heard rumors of maybe a troll that was up there then, and young Miss Hobbit that had an adventure with a troll, or some other hobbits that had helped out there. Do you know anything about this?
No.
Yeah, there was a ranger. I don't know the whole story. I just hear what comes and goes. It's more current history, if you will. But there was a young hobbit girl who had encountered she'd found the Boloror Took's club, if I recall, and was fending the troll off, and a ranger had tried to rescue her, and she was actually saved by 3 hobbits. Hobbits are very resourceful folks, and people, I think they don't give them enough credit because of their stature, but they, well, I know of Bilbo, and, you know, that's a story in itself.
Paladin, you might be a good omen then. Do you think you're as brave as those other hobbits?
Not quite, but we'll see.
Where was
This
I?
dog is quite nice.
Right. So, Oatbarton on the Northway Road up to Kingsworthy. Right, Kingsworthy is where we're at. So you'll find from Kingsworthy that continues on an old north road, and I would say at this point, because even in my youth it was run over and kind of growing over, so you'll have to mind yourself to find the trail on that road. But that road used to lead all the way up to Lake Evandom in the Animinus territory. It used to be very, I wish I could have been back when it was in its peak. It would have been very beautiful. Treacherous though now, I would assume, to even go into that town. But as you go up that road, it's going to go into some hills, and you cannot miss, to the right there will be a gravel pathway with pine, and so I'm imagining that would still be very easy to find. And then that has a stone monument there of just a pile of rocks that's pretty high. And that leads up to the tower where these scribes were keeping all of the history of Arnor. So that would be my suggested, rather than going up through Fornos, which might be very dangerous, in my opinion.
Yeah, what road was that?
The North Road, past Kingsworthy. So you go past Whitfurrows, and then you go up towards Oatbarton, and you just continue to kind of follow the road. But the road starts to fall apart a little bit, but you just kind of keep heading that way. And then eventually the road will be, you'll see a pathway on the right-hand side. But it would be ill-advised to continue on that road, as it begins to get to be more cobblestone and head you into Lake Evandum and Anominus, as that was, who knows what you would find there. It wouldn't be my advice to go there, but the tower should be fine, and likely in ruins from all of the raids and the wars of the Witch King in years past. So yeah, with that, he kind of enjoys some porridge with you, kind of hangs out, and he.
Sure, I'm really stuffed here, and maybe have a little bit extra in our satchels, just because it's the first and last inn I've seen in a while.
Mm-hmm. So with that, are you? What would you like to do? Are you ready to head on out?
Yeah, I guess before that, I in passing kind of ask Elringer if he has met or passed an elf by the name of Hallis in town.
Hallis, yes, Hallis. That's many years ago, but another historian, if I recall. Is that the Hallis that you're talking of?
Yes. I believe it is. Good friend of mine. A bit of I almost see him as a mentor. It's been a while since I've heard from him, and sounds like he received some. I received a letter from him, talking of concerns of strange and ominous things perhaps happening throughout Eriador. So the last time the letter came through was by way of Bree, so I decided to travel here to see if I could perchance meet him.
Yeah, if the letter came by Bree, then we have postage and messengers that come from London, and then they come up from Gondor, which probably does not help you too terribly much, but those would be your two pathways. And as a historian myself, and how old is this Hallis these days?
Oh. I think Hallis might be pushing 105.
Oh. And
He's an elf, though.
He's an elf. Oh, so he's very young. He's a child. Old to you, but very young to elves. Then he could be, I would be speculating or giving conjecture, because elves, they do have minds of their own. What type of elf is he? Where does he come from?
I believe most of his life he's grown up in Rivendell, the High Elves.
Ah, Rivendell elf. Well, if he is not in Rivendell and he is not in Lindon, then you will have a hard time finding him, because he's likely off on an adventure of his own or doing research. He might be in Tharabad. That an elf of that age might be getting into some mischief.
Ah, yes. Perhaps why we got along so well.
Any paladin, is there anything from you while we wait for Aldea? Aldea?
I think it was Aldea.
Aldea.
Have you? I'm going to ask him if he's seen another hobbit around. Esmeralda. Esmeralda. Thanks. I was supposed to meet her here, and
There's a lot of hobbits that come in and out of here. I'm not good with names so much, but yes, I don't know if I would know of an Esmeralda. Most people, I'm here in the daytime, as you can see, in the morning, and I'm not social, but I can keep my eyes open for her if you like.
yes, please do.
I will. So with that, did you have anything you wanted to ask or say to him before we move on to the next thing? Are you guys ready what's your next move?
Yeah.
Stuffed. I want to go hunting myself and maybe foraging along the way.
Well, I think this journey to Lake Evendim might be the perfect place to find good forest land and game, and we'll have Paladin with us, so we'll have a good. We'll be very wise about the ways through the Shire and the Hobbit lands.
Yes, indeed.
Excellent.
Get nice food
And perhaps better
Well,
ale.
I did see some. Do we feel?
Oh yes, the fine.
Like, does the party feel strong? Because I was thinking about something. I feel ready to go fight. How are you feeling? Do you guys need training?
Oh, the training and the militia training.
Some militia training offered here. I don't want to. It might get dangerous, perilous. Does anyone want to check in with their skills, do some sparring? Or are we ready to go? I'm ready.
I'd be okay with some sparring
That'd
if
be
we that before.
Okay.
One into.
Yeah. I would not be opposed to some training, but also if we are ready to go, I'm of the strong mind that there will be moments for training along the way.
Okay.
I would say that with your choices that you have made with this, it's very interesting choices, because I love this. It feels like you're on the rails and you're totally not. You could have gone anywhere, and this is very interesting. With this particular direction, I think that you will be it'll layer in nicely. So if we do need to pause for training, you guys can take a break and pause and do a little bit of training, but I think you'll be fine.
Okay, great. Then let's go.
But who knows? Who knows
I
what
could help
Ed
you a
will
little.
do.
I would need some sparring on my own if we want to practice with each other.
Excellent. So as you begin to leave the Prancing Pony, there is a booth with a passed out dwarf that has been there, and he wakes up and grabs your attention just before you leave the Prancing Pony, and he decides to.
Hi.
We're talking to the adventurers of the Prancing Pony. To wit, Mackenzie, Aurora, Tim, Omen, David, and Erwin. I beg your pardon, and Erwin. It's funny how those elvish names come into your head. Edwin, and I mean no disrespect. Now you have completed your first adventure in the Shire, and you're about to head out into the world to fight dark forces. Oh, those dark forces, let me tell you, they're powerful. They tempt you, They seduce you. They conquer you sometimes. Sometimes you must find your most innermost resources. Now, what are those innermost resources, eh? Let me tell you. Those innermost resources. Well, you've got to find the inner dwarf, haven't you? This is the great truth about dwarfing. You must find the inner dwarf. When you do, if you do, you can overcome almost anything. It does help to have a pointy ear along the way with you. And they're rather good at the old bow and arrow. Personally, myself, I think it just shows them off. But in the end, you understand that I think there's a conversation that sums it up quite well. I remember standing on a battlement saying, I never thought I would die fighting side by side with an elf. And the elf turned to me and he said, how about with a friend? And as I looked out at that solid brick wall that I could not see over and had to jump up and down all the time to find any sort of vision, glance at the hordes of the enemy, I did say I could do that. You can see spirit in you. When the road turns dark, says farewell. Stay together. Think, plan. Make the plan your living objective. I remember a wee hobbit falling overboard, a wee canoe. And I said to him, are you a diver? He says, no, but I could be. What's your advice? I said to him, plan the dive and dive the plan. That is what you should be doing. Plan your great endeavor. Bear in mind that if you want to make God laugh, tell him you have a plan. All plans in life change. Our great need and skill is to adapt and yet continue our journey. I want you to have a look over my shoulder now. I've just reached Middle Earth. I've just come home from Middle Earth, and I am tired and jet-lagged, and I do need a little bathe in the river. Perhaps not that river down there, but it is mighty. May I just show you?
Wow.
Look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Is not that beautiful?
We live in...
Eh?
Wow.
This is my Middle Earth.
Oh, sweet. Wow. So he really is a magical beast in person. Like, so... Oh.
We all should hail together at some point in life. And remember, keep breathing. That's the trick.
Yay.
Okay, that was awesome.
Amazing.
So you have left the prancing pony with some blessings, and now you stand at the crossroads of Bree once more, with Fornos to your north and the Shire to your west, and Rivendell to the east back through Bree. So with that, we'll take a little pause and a break. Oh, you can't see my mouse. So you got, let's just go bigger. This is not the easiest thing to play with. All right, so in here, you're at the Crossroads of Bree. This is the west gate right here. You know, this is the east road that goes out to the Shire and London, the Grey Havens, and beyond. East road actually goes into the town of Bree and then heads out and goes back over to Rivendell, as you know. The Greenway is going to head down towards Tharabad and Rohan and then Gondor, and it actually heads up to the ruins of Fornost, which was a pretty major fortress in the Kingdom of Arnor, and the Witch King overthrew a lot of that. And so you're back at the west gate where you started, where you all met. And just as we close out for the night, which way would you guys like to go? Do you want to heed Eldrin's advice and head towards the Shire, or chuck it all and head up to Fornos, or go somewhere completely different?
I trust Eldrin, and in his direction, and I think it would be a boon for us to take the east road through Hobbit lands.
I also want to go to Hobbit lands.
Okay, let's go for it.
All right. So I think when we meet up again,
Paladin's such a good example of what hobbits are like.
Exactly.
when we meet up again, we'll be heading that direction. And for now, you guys can give yourself each 3 experience points and 3 adventure points. And we'll talk about those in the next episode.